Hello, fellas. So today is one of those days where we record a faceless video due to some camera issues, and I think in this video I'm a little bit confident because I have no camera pointed towards my face, so social anxiety is not right here affecting me. So today I'm going to be teaching you the ultimate scalping strategy in which you could use to one, pass your prop firm challenges, two, grow your account, and three, become a millionaire from forex trading. Today I'm not going to be here to tell you any BS. Just listen to me and you're really going to be thankful that you watched this video. There are three main kinds of forex traders. One, we have the swing traders in which do their trades and analysis within the weekly time frame to a 4 hours time frame. And then we have the daily traders who do their analysis and trade from the 4 hours to the 15 minutes time frame. And then we have the scalpers who work from the 15 minutes time frame to the 1 minute time frame. A whole lot of times for the swing traders, they do their analysis on the weekly and the daily, and they enter the trade on the 4 hours or even the 1 hour. And then when it comes to the day traders, they do their analysis on the 4 hours and the 1 hour, and then most times they get into their trade in the 15 minutes. For the scalpers, they do their analysis on the 15 minutes and the 10 minutes, and most likely jump into their trade on the 1 minute. So today we're specifically here for the scalpers. And first things first, this is GBP and let me show you what we have here. So this is a 15 minutes time frame. If we step down to a 5 minutes time frame, let me show you this. This was a trade in which I predicted, and I'm going to play that video now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are on a live scalp trade, and this is a 1 minute time frame. Now I've been on this trade for about, I've been here. I haven't entered any trade, but I've been here for about 30 minutes looking at the market. Literally stepped in when it was here. So if we want to count all the candlesticks, it's up to 30 of them. So I've been here for up to 30 minutes. So this is my predictions. I predicted this one correctly, although I had some downsides yet in which I wasn't able to record. But then again, this is my prediction. We're waiting for the market to break below and retest, in which it is about to do that, but we're waiting for a more like shift of structure. Now let me delete all this and explain from the very beginning what I have seen. Now from the forex market, you know clearly that if we're going to take a trade from a 1 minute time frame, we don't analyze from a 1 minute time frame. We have to analyze from a higher time frame. So maybe let's start with the 15 minutes time frame. All right, so looking at the 15 minutes time frame, we're seeing this downward move that goes like this. So there's this downward move we can spot here, and then just to mark out every other line, we can also mark out, okay, we've marked out this. Where else can we mark out? Here is a good point, but I don't really want to go there right now, so I'm going to delete this. So the market is making lower lows and lower highs. So this is a high. Now I'm doing all these things to take the time and explain this. This is another high. Remember, we sell from the high points. This is another high that we can sell from. Then now this is another high in which we would have sold from. But the reason I didn't want to sell from this high is because we hadn't gotten to a key level that I was sure about. Although, yeah, this is another key level in which I'm just seeing it right now. I didn't see it back then, but it is fine and good. We're going to let it pass. So then we'll now come down to the 5 minutes time frame. So from the 5 minutes time frame, we can see it's still on a downtrend, lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. And then it has broken below. And then on the 5 minutes time frame, this key zone, we can see here, here. It has just broken below, and it has come back here to retest this trend line, and now it's now has broken below. So we're going to wait for it to come and retest this zone before we take it to the downside. But before that, we can now go down to the 1 minute time frame, and in the 1 minute time frame, everything now is clearer. So from the 1 minute time frame, the 15 minutes is bearish, the 5 minutes is bearish, but the 1 minute is bullish. So we have more bearish move than bullish move. But now in the bullish move, we can see there's an uptrend here, or there was an uptrend here. Now we're making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. Now at this point, I actually almost entered the trade here. Now you can see there's this
um there's this more like head and shoulder pattern here. So there is this more like a head and shoulder pattern here. You can see the left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder. So I was expecting it to make a break and retest to give me a change of structure, in which it did not. So luckily I didn't enter. Yes, besides I'm not even entering for a trade because I'm already on a trade on XAUSD, but that's for later. And then you see this move has repeated itself here in a bigger or in a more ginormous way. We can see it just repeated itself here. So this move we see has been magnified, and that's one thing about the forex market. Whatever you see, you're obviously going to see it again. So don't rush anything, because whatever happens yesterday will happen again today. Just wait for the perfect timing. So we've gotten to this level again where it has made the left shoulder the head, and then the right shoulder, and then this is the neckline. And funny enough, the neckline is also the support and resistance level that has been, in existence since the 15 minutes time frame. So now we're waiting for it to break under, retest, and go to the downside. So we have now gotten our change of structure, in which we've not gotten it yet. So on the 1 minute time frame, we're having higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So what we're waiting for right now is a perfect break below, retest, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we can now take the trade to the downside to this area. We're going to be going in here. This is the short position. Then to the downside, which is here. And we're going to bring this here. Remember, we are not entering the trade yet. When it's time to enter the trade, we enter the trade. So this is at a round psychological. So we're just going to wait for it and see how it plays out.
So from the video you just saw, that was me about 10 hours ago. I did an analysis on GBP JPY on this specific trade, and from what you heard, I said initially I was thinking I was going to, call the trade here, but I said I was going to wait for an entry signal. So the entry signal I expected was for the trade to, break out, then come here to retest, and we now go to the downside. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the entry signal because the trade had not yet perfectly played out. And one thing you should know is in the forex market, we do not control the market, we only follow the market. So please, one mistake a whole lot of forex traders do is they try to force the market, and we don't do that. So finally, the trade played out when it broke out below here, and it came back to this key level to retest, and then we now took it to the downside. So the trade played out perfectly. And then let us do the real analysis right now. So I'll delete this first of all. All right, so like I said, we do our analysis on the 15 minutes, and then we jump in on maybe the 1 minute. So this is a 15 minutes time frame. So first things first, what are the institutional bias, or what is the direction of the market? Now, you could say the market was on a downtrend, and I mean you're correct if you say the market was on a downtrend, because as it is, it actually looks like it was on a downtrend. But we've had this bold spike that has gone to the upside, in which the market now looks like it has changed direction. But still, we're still going to expect. Now, I'm only saying this as from my experience. We could still expect a pullback before we start going to the upside, if indeed this market has done a perfect change of structure, in which we're not yet certain, but I mean, if from what we've seen, it's looking like that's what it's about to do. So the 15 minutes time frame was on a bearish trend, but seems like it has changed to a bullish trend. Also, before we jump straight into conclusion, there's something I do in which I'm going to suggest each and every one of us to do. Let us mark out the highs and the lows. Now, there's a rule in the forex market that says buy low and sell high. So therefore, it simply means if you're looking for buying opportunities, you have to look for buying opportunities in the low point. And if you're looking for selling opportunities, you have to look for selling opportunities in the high points. So if we were looking for selling opportunities, let us mark out the point in which would be perfect for a sell entry. So we're going to mark this out. I change it to black So we're going to mark that out. This is another place we would have gone in for a sell, and here is another point in which we would have gone in for a sell here, and then here is another point in which we would have gone in for a sell. That's cool. And then another point in which most likely we could have gone in for a sell is here. So these are areas we could have gone in for sells because you know, buy low and sell high. So these are the highs in the market. These are the swing highs in the market. Places that we could have actually gone in for a sell in the forex market. And then where the places we would have gone in for a buy would be here, being one of them. I'm going to change this to blue. Here being one of them. Another place would have gone in for a buy is obviously here. Then another place we would have gone in for a buy is here. So I just marked out the black ones are the sells, the blue ones are the buy. These are areas where we could have gone in for sells or buys in remember this is a 15 minutes time frame. So these are areas we would have gone in for sells or buys. Now we know how the market structure is. So having this now, the next thing I'm going to suggest us to do is let us draw out the key levels. And what I mean by key levels is the areas in which the market has been respecting. So one major key level that is here is this is a major key level. Let me delete this. And we can see, before I delete that, we can see that the major key level blends into this zone where we could have gone into a sell and this zone where we could have gone into a buy. So this is a very important key level. This is a support and demand zone. It's a support to the ones above and it's a resistance to the ones below. So if we're under, we're selling. If we're above, we're buying. We can see how the market came to it broke below, retested to the zone, and we took it to the downside. So this is a very important key level that we can mark out. This is one of them. Now, any other key level, I think here is another key level, but it's not that effective, but we could still mark it out. It's another important key level, and we can see coincidentally this is where the market is currently at. So this is another key level. It's not really the best, but we can stick to it. So let me delete some of this so you could not get confused with too many lines. So ladies and gentlemen, from the 15 minutes time frame, it was on a downtrend. Now it seems like it's actually on an uptrend. So we have to boil down to the 5 minutes time frame to have a better view. Now remember the key levels I set out. Seems like the market respected it when it broke above and it retested to this key level. So this key level is a well respected key level. We saw it broke below. Always allow your market to retest into your key levels if they are perfectly drawn. Then when it has gotten there, you can now take the trade to whichever direction. But now remember, we're looking for buys. Remember, it was on a downtrend. Now it is on an uptrend. So we're looking for buys. Now, from the 5 minutes time frame, it is on an uptrend. I'm not going to start drawing out so many things, so it's not going to look whack in your eyes, but it is on an uptrend. We're now going to look for buying opportunities. Now, the market has broken above this zone and it is retesting, so this could actually be a good buying opportunity. But hold on, we don't want to be desperate to jump into the market, so we're not going to lose anything. Or else, I mean, if you want to take this position long right here, yeah, it would kind of be a good one, but the risk to reward will be kind of little. It's like a 1:1 risk to reward, and I don't think that's a good one. So we're going to not really go into this unless you want to take it to this level, this other level right here, and then you can extend this a little bit because you need to give your stop loss some room to breathe. So this is a nice 1:2, or yeah, I think it's a nice 1:2 risk to reward. But first things first, we're not going to get into that yet, so we're going to give it some time. Now, we have seen the direction of the market, we have drawn out the key levels, okay, as it seems like it's going down before our eyes. That's why it's good to be patient in the forex market, but still, we're still not sure on the direction of the market. So first things first, we've seen the direction of the market. We've drawn out the key levels in which the market is respecting. And then another thing in which we're going to do now is we need to wait for a confirmation to make sure that the market is actually going to go towards our direction. Now, there's something I want to point out. You remember this zone here? Remember this key level? Remember on the 15 minutes time frame, I told you it is not really a perfect key level because it is wide. The key level is wide. So you see, it got here and it has started going back to the downside. So it is something that we're not sure. Another thing in which I do, in which I forgot to mention, is sometimes I change the candlesticks to a line chart, and with a line chart, I think you can have a better view on how the market is moving. Sometimes you could be deceived with candlesticks and wicks. So just in case you want to draw your lines perfectly, it is good to change it to lines. The line chart gives you better views. Now you see on the line chart the wicks are absent, so there's a very huge gap from here to here. You can see that the buyers wanted to push it to this level, but the sellers pushed the market down here. So it is clear that the market now went down to the downside and so on and so forth, in which we're not really going to talk about. But this zone is an important key level, so the market has not broken above this zone yet, so we're still under. Like I said, I just told you that we would have gone for buys, but we're not yet sure. But seems like we're still under. So let us now go back to the candlesticks. If we now boil down to the 1 minute time frame, the 1 minute time frame could kind of confuse you a little bit, but I mean that is how it is. Remember, these lines represent key levels. So try to just look at the market without these lines for now if you're a beginner. So this is on a clear uptrend. It's making some higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, and so on. So we've had a double top here. By the rule of market structure, whenever we see a double top, the market is most likely going to go to the downside. So there's a double top and there's a retest here. So it seems like this thing could end up going to the downside, but we're not yet sure. There's a double top and there's a retest. And then also another thing is another rule of market structure now, and a red candle has been opened. Listen, this is a 1 minute time frame. So as I'm speaking, the market is moving live. We can see we have about 48 seconds left, 46, 45, 44, 43, and it's pumping downwards. So that is how the 1 minute time frame is. It moves fast and effectively. Another rule in the market structure is head and shoulder. Now head and shoulder is when the market does something like this, does the right shoulder, then it comes here to give you like a head, then a left shoulder. Now the left shoulder could be higher or lower than the right shoulder, but most most times it may not be the same. Then if it comes below to break below and comes back to the neckline to retest, then it goes to the downside. So it gives you more like this. This is like the neckline of the trend. Then if you are going to enter the trade, you're most likely going to take a short position at this level to the downside, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. So before our eyes, our trade is going to the downside. The reason it's going to the downside right now is because, like I just said few seconds ago before I started going to the downside, we've seen a double top here. And when we've seen a double top, it is most likely going to go to the downside. Now we are seeing a lower low and a lower high, a lower low and a lower high. It has made the new low, so it seems like it's about to make the new high again to go down. So if you were a scalper, because you have marked out your lines, your key levels correctly, when the market got to this level, it shows that it is about to go to the downside. And what I mean by downside is to this level. So you would have entered a short position from here, a little short position. From here, you'd have entered a short position to this level. And this is a nice 1:2 risk to reward. So let's see how the market plays out. It could do a little reversal, but I mean, it seems like it is going well so far. This area where it is currently has been rejected before. We can see this zone. It has been rejected. So these are things you should be looking out for. But if you, I mean, it still has some strong momentum to break below. But you can see there's a wick here, there's a little test here. Here it consolidated a little bit, and there's a weak test here. The market came to tap into this zone. Okay, now we can see a blue candlestick just came out. So as I'm speaking, it is happening live. So this blue candle, okay, it's now red, so it still has some momentum to go to the downside. and let's see how it goes as we speak. So now it has turned back to a blue candlestick. So as I just drew this line, you can now see that the market is moving. But in the next about 7 seconds, let's see where the market is going to close. Then I'm going to say what I want to say. 2, 1, and the candlestick has closed. Now a new one just opened. Now remember when I said it is making lower lows and lower highs, and that is what it is doing currently. From here, it made a low and it made a high and a low and a high and then another low, and now it's making another high. Maybe this high could stop somewhere here. Then it now goes to the downside back to break this zone and takes it like this to the downside. But what I'm scared But what I'm kind of disturbed about is if the market does something like this from a low to the upside and low and comes down again, comes down to this point, and when it comes here, it now comes down again to create a double bottom. If it creates a double bottom and shows some sign of going, it could most likely come back to this zone to test, and maybe before it starts creating another lower low that will now give it the momentum to come here and break below this zone, then come back to retest and get to this downside. But I'm believing sooner or later this market will still get to the downside, because now it is now coming back to our entry point, in which a whole lot of times the market does it. And you see, it's funny how I marked out this zone and I told you this is somewhere that I just marked it out. You can reverse few minutes backwards. I marked it out, and that same place I marked out was where the market stopped, and it turned back to our entry zone, our place of entry. But it is still budging up and down. In the next 15 seconds, when the market closes, we're going to see how it goes. All right, so a red candlestick now has been opened. So it came back to our entry point to tap it again to now come back here. So this is more like a little double top again. But now we know that, like I said, the market came back here, but I'm scared of it making a double bottom here, because if it makes a double bottom, we're going to have some issue. Now remember, as I said, it could come to tap here again, in which it did. So then, okay, it seems like it's going up, but don't worry about that. So we're just going to wait for the market to do its thing. I'm believing sooner or later it could still most likely come back to this zone sooner or later. And then let us allow the market to do its thing and let us go to a different pair and check how we're going. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this is CHF Now, CHF looks so identical to GBP because they are both JPY pairs. Now, first things first, it is on a downtrend. Now, the reason why I said it's on a downtrend, it's not just because of this trend line, because we can adjust this trend line to this level, but it is on a downtrend because of what I have seen. Now, what have I seen? Now, let's adjust this to here if we want, or sometimes what I do is I draw the lines like this, and then I could now draw another one just to satisfy your conscience, just to satisfy your conscience. Then I could draw another one somewhere like here. So we're going to satisfy our conscience. But what I have seen to know that the market is still on a downtrend, it has not had a shift of structure. When the market's on a downtrend, it makes lower lows and lower highs. So we can clearly see that this is a high, this is a low. It came back here to retest, made some consolidation, but it broke below, came back to retest this zone, it broke below, and now it has come here. Now you could think it has broken, but it hasn't really broken, because who knows, it could. Now we're not 100% sure. The reason I said it hasn't really broken is because there's a zone here. We can see there's this important key level that is right here. So it has gotten to this key level, but until this market breaks above, in which it looks like it may do, but we're not sure, until this market breaks above retest, then we are sure that the market has had a change of structure. But that hasn't happened yet. Now, like I did initially, let us do the exact same thing. So let us mark out the highs and the lows. Remember, we're going to sell high and buy low. So it is still on a downtrend, so we're still looking for selling opportunities for now. So let us mark out the zones in which we're going to be selling. First things first, this is an important zone in which we could sell. But remember, as it is for sell, let's change it to black. So this is an important zone in which is going to sell. There are not really much zones for sell here. This is another one. It's quite important. Then this is a little one. So this is a little one. Now, like what happened in GBP JPY is similar to GBP CHF. We can see this double top here, then it went back to the downside. So we can now look for areas where we should be looking for buys, which we're going to come here. So where are the areas we should be looking for buys? They are very, very little, but this is one of them. We can draw it from here where the week started. So we're going to change that to blue so we can identify them. So we're going to draw from here. This is one level. Now, another level, I think there are just two levels. So there are two levels we are looking for buying opportunities, and there are three levels we're looking for selling opportunities. Then this one is the key level, is a zone. So, and look, I'll be honest with you, from the little I've seen, seems like this is going to be another sell zone, but we're not sure because the market has not done all it needs to do. But seems like this could be another sell zone. But I mean, it honestly looks like, but let us continue the analysis. So we're going to delete this a little bit. So let us go down to the 5 minutes time frame. Remember, on the 15 it is bearish. On the 5 minutes time frame, on the 5 minutes time frame, it is having, because this now, this is this level in which we can see this line is respecting, and we can see there's this there's this very powerful bearish red candlestick right now that wants to break below this, but let's see if he has a momentum to do that. Now we can see a whole lot of candlesticks here. This is like a momentum build to go to wherever it wants to go. But first things first, the market is doing, this is a high and this is a low, then this is a lower high and this is a lower low, but then it breaks above the previous high and it is here. So we don't know if it's still going to continue to the downside, if it is still going to continue to the downside. So this is a fake out. It is not a breakout. This is actually fake out. And it seems like it is doing that because of what we're seeing right here. So like I said, remember, I just deleted that. Remember, I said this area looks like a potential area to go for a sell. But still, let us not be faster than the market, because the market could come beneath here and retest, because it looks like that is what it's about to do. So it seems like the market is going to come a little bit beneath, retest. Then this is a good place now to take it to the downside. This would have been a better place, but we missed it here because I mean I had already told you this is a very important key level, but we've already missed it here. So the 5 minutes time frame, you could not really say it's bullish, neither can you say it is bearish, but I would honestly say it has more bearish move even than a bullish move. But hey, we're just following the market, we're not commanding the market, like I said. So now if we come down to the 1 minute where we're going to do our execution, the 1 minute is having a little bit of consolidation to the up down. Now, one thing about consolidation is a momentum build, because this is um this is a 1 minute time frame. So from what I've seen, this seems like 1 hour. This seems like about an hour of the market decide. It's a point of indecision, up down up down up down up down up down. So you don't want to get into a trade here until it gets out from this zone. Either it goes above or it goes below, but it seems like it's actually going below, but we're not still sure because we still need it to do its thing. Who knows, the market could still decide to go up a little bit before it comes below, then comes to retest here, then go to the downside. We're not sure of how the market could want to act. But for now, I'll just say keep if you're a scalper at this point, you have to keep your guards up, because one thing about being a scalper is you're going to be stuck to the screen for a very, very long time. Compared to a swing trader, you're just going to set it, allow it to play out, and let's say the next 3 hours you could come back and see how it went. And maybe you can enter the trade and the next 5 hours or 6 or 12, you come back to see how the trade went. So that is different for scalpers. Scalpers, they are going to stay on the screen for about 2 hours. I mean, if this were to be a swing trading video, it's not going to be this long. But it seems like the market is going to the downside. from what I have seen. Now, the reason I came down to the 1 hour, I have not really seen any entry signal yet, because my entry signals really come from my entry signals on most cases, they come from market structure. And what I mean by market structure is either I get a double top, maybe the market's on an uptrend and it does something like this, it comes back to this level. So this is a double top, then it comes back here to retest and it starts going to the downside. So this level here and here is a double top. That's a double top. Or I could have, let me shift this. Or if it's on an uptrend, it goes up, comes down a little bit, goes up, comes down, and then this is like a neckline. And we can now see the head could be somewhere around here. Then it comes down again, so it has broken below 1 and it has come to 2 right here. So this is more like a neckline. Sometimes it even goes a little bit below, or sometimes it stays here, but let's say it went a little bit below and this one now comes here, then it will now break below, retests to the neckline, and then head to the downside. So this is a head and shoulder. So this is a right shoulder, this is a head, and this is a left shoulder. So this is a double top, right top, left top. Sorry, this is a left top and this is a right top. These are my confirmation signals to enter a trade, in which I have not really seen here. But this, I know I have seen this pattern before. I have seen this pattern before. So I'm pretty certain that this market could actually go to the downside. So we're waiting for some, retest right now. A whole lot of times the market could retest. Oh, I've shifted this, but it's fine. A whole lot of times the market could retest twice. What I mean by twice is, let's say at this point, the market could come to retest and let's say come down a little bit and come again to retest before it goes to the downside. So it just created, let me delete this. So it just created a double top right here just to go to the downside. So these are confirmation signals on how the market works. So ladies and gentlemen, let us go back to GBP JPY. So on GJ, ladies and gentlemen, our trade has finally played out perfectly to the T. So you see, we set out our entry signal, we allowed it to play, and we had a double top here, which was our entry signal, and it made, even with the double top, if you go to, can I go to a 2 minutes time frame? I don't think so. Even with our double top, if you go to a 3 minutes time frame, the double top looks like a head and shoulder. So we can see this is the shoulder, right shoulder, the head, then it comes back here to give the left shoulder, and then it is going so much down to the downside humongously. And then that is for GBP JPY. So GBP JPY hit our take profits perfectly. And I mean, if we would have been on this trade more, it would have gone more. But we're fine and good for GJ. So for CHF JPY, from what we're saying, you see it has broken beneath the zone and is making a retest. But this is not the main retest we're going to be waiting for. Trust me, it is going to retest again. Trust me, it is going to retest again. Another thing that could help is round psychological levels. Now, the closest round psychological level around this zone is 174.600. That's the price. So I think $174 and 600 cents, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, I'm a Nigerian, okay? The US dollar is not my currency. But we see that this is the round psychological level, in which it is good a whole lot of times when you have, or when you're getting a zone and an entry signal close to a round psychological level. This gives you more entry signals that, hey, the market is actually about to go for a sell or to the downtrend, or if it's going down, the market is actually about to go towards your direction, whether it's going to the downside or to the upside. So like we've expected, we're now going to place our entry signal somewhere around here. You can enter the trade here, but I wouldn't, because trust me, this trade is going to retest again. So you can decide to have your stuff here, and then this could be a take profit one, and this also, and here we go, this could be a take profit too. And if this were to be a take profit, so this is a 1 is to 5 risk to reward, in which this is a very amazing pair. This is a very amazing trade, rather. But a 1 is to 5 is kind of very unrealistic, I'll be honest with you. A 1 is to 3 is more realistic. So 1 is to 3 is going to be your first take profits, and then 1 is to 5 is going to be your second take profit. So we're going to wait to see how this trade plays out within the next 5 to 10 minutes. As for GJ, it has gotten perfectly to our stop to our take profit, and now it seems like the market wants to come back to this zone, and it's doing it to retest and maybe have some more momentum to go to the downside. The market has to tap into the level of liquidity before it gets some momentum boost to whichever direction it wants to go into. So that is what it is about to do. So we're going to see it play out, and a whole lot of guys that can take opportunity of the market. Some could now enter for a second sell. Let's say if the market gets here, they could enter for a second sell, in which, yeah, I may not really do that. It depends. I mean, if I've gotten to my target, I'm not really going to do that. But ladies and gentlemen, we can see this humongous move. You see, it tapped into this area of liquidity, and it got and then it got enough momentum to boost it to the downside. So powerful that it was so amazing. And this is on a 3 minutes time frame. We'll go back to the 1 minute. We can see how beautiful this trade went. So we can still wait out to see how this could play. It could still get to this zone and go to the downside. Who knows? Let's see how it plays out perfectly. And remember, we're also waiting for CHF JPY to do its thing. Like I said, I was not going to enter here because we're seeing it has started pushing. Let us allow it to really do its thing. Remember, you do not force the forex market, you follow the markets. So we're going to allow it to break below very well and come back to retest, and then we take it to the downside. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an update on BTC. I just decided to, have a little update on BTC. So BTC almost hit 90K. We can see it almost hit 90K. Currently, it's at $88,000, and BTC has, I think we've officially gotten into a bull run from BTC. So we can see the movement, and it is this kind of bull run that it doesn't really retest. I don't know how it doesn't retest, but it makes little retest, but not that much. So this is the bull run, and if you want to buy BTC, you're free and you're good. This could not be a this is not a financial advice, but hey, if you want to buy BTC, my dear, you're very much free. Please buy BTC. So who knows, tomorrow Bitcoin could skyrocket to $90,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again to GBP JPY, and like I said, it has happened, but it didn't really come perfectly into this area. But if you can see, it still lines up. So maybe I just didn't draw this line perfectly, but it's okay. It's okay. So it is still really going hard to the downside, and who knows, it could come back again till it gets back to this area. Because if it has had this huge dip, it most likely is going to get to this place. I don't think anything is stopping it again from getting to this place. So most likely it's going to get here. It just wants to retest, tap into this area and get the momentum of this zone to now go back to the downside. And that is just how it works right here. So we're still waiting for CHF JPY. CHF JPY hasn't played out completely. Okay, so it has started playing out, and I haven't had no idea, honestly. So then we see there was this retest and there was this spike, and I have a feeling, like I said, it could still come back here again. Remember what I just drew that I just deleted? You can go back 2 seconds. I have a feeling it could still come back here again. But even if it doesn't, it broke below, it retested, and it's going for the downside. So we're going to step out and still come back later. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this is about 12 hours later, and the market has played out perfectly to this exact same area now. It made a little retest to the upside and it broke, and it still kept on going to the downside, in which here it made a total reversal, and here we go. So I'm not here to start analyzing this whole, I mean, it went so well, and if you can see, it's respecting the lines in which we drew out. It's respecting these areas. So I think I would stop here for today, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to tell you that you can be a very good scalper if you can put what you learned into practice. And believe me, this is courtesy of the set and forget strategy from FX Alex G. I learned a whole lot from that guy, believe me. And then if we come to GBP JPY, it still went all the way to the downside, but we can clearly see that the first take profit it was hit, then we set another one. If you can go back, you just see where we said it could come a little bit up, retest, and go back to the downside, and in which it did, but it still went down, down, down. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around for today's episode. Bye for now.